Welcome to The Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zammit. Let's get on with the show with the news, the views, the reviews, and interviews. A little bit in the sunlight this morning, and that's right, it's this morning here in Melbourne, Australia. But first piece is The Mandalorian and Grogu official trailer still hasn't dropped. We are days out from this particular trailer being dropped. It's going to be the final trailer, I assume, for the movie that's upcoming in May 22nd of this year. Speculation is starting to run wild again in why we haven't got this trailer so late in the game. But anyway, I'm wishing that it's going to be, informative and just fun looking. Anyway, at least, so that's what we're waiting on. To Starfighter, that's the next piece of news. Starfighter, which is coming out in 2027, no photos, no information, which is sort of pretty much how they'd want it right now, having the Mandalorian around the corner. They'll really focus full power on that. But there's no news, which is good news with Starfighter. Anyway, that's pretty much the news at this time. Let's get in with the views. Views is my story idea within Star Wars that I'd like to see happen and see what fruition. And also I accept the story for what it is. Like, whatever's been said, that is the story. Let the storyteller tell it how it is, whoever it is, and that is the story. I accept it. Yes, there's things I change. Yes, there's ups and downs, lefts and right, whatever. But it's a story, and it's still, at the end of every day, Star Wars is a great space adventure, if you're to put it in basics. Anyway, my story idea for this time around will be centralizing on Luke and Leia. Now, the last time we technically saw Luke and Leia was a ghostly image at the end of Rise of Skywalker Episode 9. Should we ever get any of them again? I think it's bound to personally happen. It's going to personally happen. But I think for the good hiatus of the next decade, we should just move on from it, because we need to sort of create a new story. For the people out there who are just craving new story ideas, I think it would be great to just leave them be, concentrate on maybe another family or families or something of a culture, and that's it. That's what I would do. I'd really put them to the back burner and really go full power on something else. But they have to be mentioned. They are absolute iconic legends in Star Wars. So that's my rough story idea. I would definitely hold back on Luke and Leia. That's Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa, technically Skywalker, in any storytelling in the next decade at least. And but they need to be down the track mentioned or seen or heard or something like that in future projects, which would be actual storyline to Star Wars. Anyway, that's my story idea for this time around in views. Let's get into reviews. Reviews, as I go into the sunlight a little. This here, my friends, is the first and original DVD set of the original trilogy. At this stage, when Star Wars was released, they were working on the prequel trilogy, and this here is the original trilogy box set. So we've got Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, and then the bonus material, which, if you love DVDs, and for the reason that there's bonus material, I love that aspect. I just find the documentaries the most informative and fun and great. So the first time on DVD, says it on the sticker above, that is the very first DVD release of the original trilogy of Star Wars. And this one gets a mighty 9.5 out of 10. Why 9.5? Because if you actually saw the video set, which I've shown before, the way Darth Vader was pictured on it and the way you peel the actual thing out was really creative. It just had Darth Vader's face, and then you put the DVD back in, and it just looked so good. It was just a very creative thing. This here's a bit sort of just, a cool picture with some silver and black on the outside, and it's damn good. And I think this is the one. With with Return of the Jedi, when at the end when Anakin comes back of Return of the Jedi as a ghost figure. I think it's the original actor. I think. Don't quote me, but I think. Anyway, so that is a 9.5 out of 10. Anyway, so that is my review. Let's get into interviews. Interviews is usually my questions that I get on the comment section. Please send in your comments, whether it's just a comment or a question or even something trivia. I'm not Mr. Trivia. I don't know everything. I just know a bit. Anyway, so let's get into it. Michael from Werribee South, he loves this show. He's from Werribee South, which is a part of Melbourne in Australia. Just to let you know, it's on the other side of the bridge for good reason. Anyway, so Michael asks, legacies of the past. How does the trauma of the Night of Thousand Tears and Empire's destruction of Mandalore shape a character's view of the New Republic? Well, the Republic technically, or the New Republic, was under scrutiny. There's always going to be someone that doesn't like the other side. It's just a simple understanding that, everyone cannot be loved, everything cannot be loved. It's, there's the Republic is you painted to be the good side of, living, but there's ups and downs. Even in the Jedi, we've got to know. We used to think the Jedi was this all-powerful, perfect, good religion, but we've got to know there's flaws in the system. Anyway, so that's the answer to the question. There's just always something with someone or some things that just people don't like. That's all. The next question, the tool or the warrior? This is by Michael from Werribee South, and you can send questions. It doesn't have to be just Michael. Ask him questions if you like. There's many questions you can ask him, let me tell you. The tool or the warrior? Does the Darksaber make the leader, or must the leader prove themselves worthy regardless of the weapon they carry? Well, the Darksaber was something that if you won the victory in the actual saber fight with the Darksaber there, you would then be the owner of the Darksaber. So you have to prove yourself worthy to win. And so if you have it, you can. The only way someone else can actually get it is to fight you and win the actual battle with you and the Darksaber. So you need to prove yourself worthy, and it is something that you carry for the time that you are worthy having it. The Darksaber is a black lightsaber with a white glow. I think the white glow essentially is there so you can see the Darksaber. It's a very interesting sort of saber. I think they were sort of attempting to make this saber to be the most iconic lightsaber. I think, the most iconic lightsaber, I think still to this day, is the one that Anakin fought in Revenge of the Sith, and then Luke took in A New Hope. That particular lightsaber, that's the most iconic one from the 70s. Anyway, so that's the answer to that question. The final question from Michael from Werribee South is, survival or honor? Is it better for the Mandalorian people to remain hidden and survive, or to reveal themselves and risk extinction for their honor? Well, that is really just a creative writing choice. Really either way would work. I like the idea that they can keep hiding, but to sort of, appear from nowhere and here anywhere, just to sort of give a bit of presence. I don't think the whole notion in having something in Star Wars be mysterious forever is really, storytelling in a logical way. I think we all really want to know the version of where, for example, Yoda's from. It would be interesting if it was created correctly. And when I say correctly, we all have our ideas, but let's do the best they can, or whoever's writing the story. But I think having things in mystery, even like Boba Fett or Jango Fett, or it's just, yes, it's a great story in the Star Wars timeline, but we all want to find out. That's human nature, and human nature still exists in the Star Wars universe. I think sort of getting inside, finding things out is great. All I'm saying with Star Wars though is let's keep moving the story forward, not backward, and not stand still. That's what Star Wars is, along with its episodic numbers. Like we're up to number 9, and it's got to be epic. It's got to be epic. It's got to have, the good versus bad, that type of thing. I know it's pretty typical, straightforward, but that's Star Wars. Anyway, so that is the answer to that question. Now, also, so you can send in your comments at any time to the last particular video, which now this is the one, or any just comments or questions, whatever. You can also subscribe to this channel, The Force Always. I'm here 3 or 4 times a week, roughly 3 at the moment, with the news, the views, the reviews, and interviews. And that's The Force Always. Like and share the video if you like. That's if you like, and if you want to share it. Anyway, until next time, my friends, keep rocking.